Welcome back to Art Therapy with MindSoul Meditations. I'm Chura, your host. Today we're doing the Courage to Continue Daily Strength. So today's episode explores the quiet, steady courage that allows us to show up for our life every single day. Courage is not always dramatic. It's often gentle, persistent, and rooted in our daily choices. So today we're going to honor the strength that's required to continue forward even when the path seems challenging. So, what is the courage to continue? So, the courage to continue is the strength that's required to wake up, try again, begin again, and move forward, especially when we feel tired and uncertain or even afraid. This form of courage is really quiet but powerful. It's persistent more than forceful, and it's rooted in daily actions and built through repetition and strengthened by self compassion. So, I'd like you to consider a couple of metaphors for courage. So, when we're creating our art today, we're going to think about things like a sunrise breaking through darkness that represents new beginnings, or a river cutting through a rock or forming its path as steady progress. We can think of a plant growing through concrete for determination, or waves returning to the shore for consistency. So, daily strength is often rooted in consistency, in daily routines. I talked in the first episode about how every morning when I get up, after my kids are off to school, one of the first things that I do is I get out my easel and my paints and I sit down and I paint. And that's part of my daily routine so that I can put myself into a mindful state and I'm ready to face the day. So some of these types of routines that we can set for ourselves, they help build that consistency. And if you're looking at growing as an artist and building a brand, or maybe you have a business and you're trying to build that business up, that consistency in those daily routines are part of what makes it so important in building your identity. So, for example, I can think of people who have social media, who every day they get out there, they post, they engage with their community, they build a community, and they show up every day. This is part of building your own personal strength and developing routines that create stability for you in your life. That consistency forms a type of self-trust. So each day I show up for myself. Another way you might look at this is if you're looking to do an exercise regime and making sure that every day you spend a certain amount of time, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, where you get up and you're like, I'm going to go and I'm going to do 10 minutes on the treadmill, or I'm going to take a walk around the block every day. Maybe you have a pet, take your pet for a walk. So creating that stability, giving yourself that opportunity to go out and do something. It's also a time for reflection. You can clear your mind, or maybe you need to do some problem solving. And so having that peace to get out and do this thing, you can think about like, what's a different way that I can approach this and find a solution, or tackle this problem, or regulate my emotions because I'm out here enjoying nature or whatever. But making sure we show up for ourselves and we actually do it, that's the important part that helps create that daily strength. So we want to find these small wins through consistency. And when we do that, our courage grows and we acknowledge our progress, and no matter how small it is, like every little win seeds that resilience. Another way that we can build strength is through a positive mindset. And reflecting on our last episode with the warrior's heart, you can think of a warrior of daily courage challenges unhelpful thoughts and replaces them with grounded truth. So when you're dealing with something that's difficult, you can say, I've faced hard things before and I know I can continue and I can get past this. And reminding ourselves that we can go on, we can keep going, we can face this challenge with courage and get through it. You can also lean on others for support. So courage is amplified by connection. So you don't always have to continue and go through everything alone. Whether it's calling your best friend and saying, oh my gosh, I'm having such a bad day, this is so difficult. Sometimes bouncing ideas off another person can sort of help you find that clarity and build that courage, and hear those positive words from somebody else that says, hey, you got this, I know you can do this. So, or maybe they present a different way of looking at things and you go, yeah, okay, I hadn't thought of it that way. Yep, okay, I know what to do now. And you build that strength and that courage that you need to keep on going through small daily activities. Reflection is also something that's really fantastic for helping to build that strength. So looking back on how far you've come often reveals a strength that you overlook. So maybe you're building a new art practice and you've been creating art for some time. Sometimes it's valuable to go back to the beginning and see what it was that you've created and see what you're creating now and compare how far you've come. Or go back and look at all of your successes. How many open calls were you selected for? Or was your art ever put on display? Were there compliments made about your artwork? Did somebody look at an artwork that you made last year and go, wow, this is absolutely fantastic, this is phenomenal? And hang on to those and look at where you are today. So let's talk about how to cultivate daily strength. So we've talked about routine. Routine creates stability and structure. Choose one simple ritual to repeat every day. Maybe it's just having a cup of tea, and that's it. Maybe it's stretching the minute that you wake up in the morning, or doing some journaling, or taking a moment to look at the morning sunlight and going, I am grateful for this day. These little tiny routines, these little practices that we can put into place can change your entire day. And celebrate every small win. So regardless of how tiny the achievement is, maybe you're practicing a new technique in painting and today you finally got it and you were happy with what you achieved. Or you've been prompting and creating AI art and you finally fine-tuned a style down to something you absolutely love and resonate with. That's a small win. And that's something you can put through your daily routine of acknowledging your little wins. That's something that you can feel good about to help build your daily strength. It can be difficult sometimes to maintain a positive mindset, especially when there's so much going on in the world. So you need to kind of find a way to shift from fear or anxiety to truth. So affirmations is one way that you can do that. Telling yourself, I'm stronger than this moment. When something is pressing you down, I am stronger than this moment. And reminding yourself of that strength is going to help push you back into that positive mindset. It's really important and key the way that we speak to ourselves. If we speak badly about yourself, if you're telling yourself that you're a failure or you can't do it or it's not worth it, then that's what you're going to believe. And you're only going to create more stress and anxiety for yourself. If you can change one of those statements that you tell yourself every day into something positive and keep reinforcing that one positive, and then when you've got that one down, move on to the next one and tell yourself something else that's really positive and rewire your brain and your mentality into something more positive by speaking to yourself in an affirmative way. And like I keep mentioning in every episode, and I'll continue to mention, is you're not alone. You can reach out for help. Find a community or a peer group that's supportive, that you can talk to, people that help you feel stronger and feel like you have more courage to go on. That's super empowering, but find that community, whether it's local or family or your friends or somewhere in social media that you find a community to be a part of. That's going to help you with your building your self-esteem and growing your daily strength through daily practice of participating with your community. And stay present. Don't focus on the things that are in the past. Don't worry about what's going on in the future. Stay present. Present is where courage exists. Present is, I'm going to deal with this right now. I'm going to take this step right now to keep myself moving forward. So taking minutes even of just like mindful breathing and being in the moment, clear your mind of everything and just focus on your breathing. This is something we're going to do in a few moments, where we're going to do a guided meditation to help you get into sort of a mindful place before you work on your art. And always take time to reflect on your journey. Whatever your journey is, whatever it is that you're working on in life, reflect on it. Make yourself some notes, keep a journal, or if you're expressing yourself through art, take the time to go back and look at the art that you've created in the past. I know for me, having gone back and taken a look at some of my older art, I can see some of my transitions where, I was processing some darker stuff, right? So I've got a lot of darker arts. And suddenly I find that my arts become brighter. I've done a lot of arts that are far more neon, or I'm looking at the color blue, but I'm using blue as a really empowering color for myself. And I'm creating these empowered artworks. And when I look back through the journey, I can see it. I've actually even see myself moving through various colors as I explore different colors for emotional healing. So take the time to go back and look at what you've created before and see what resonates with you, see what empowers you. Acknowledge the journey that you've taken and the progress that you've made. So as we're looking at symbols and ideas for our artwork when we're moving into today's art component, you can think of different visuals that make you think of daily courage, trees that are strong and powerful. So depending on the type of art style that you have, you might want to go with something more classical like landscapes or artwork with figures in it. But don't be afraid to go into something that's a little bit weirder or a little bit more collage or glitch or generative. Explore different styles of art to find what resonates with you, to reflect the idea of your daily courage or to reflect your journey and your small wins, and create something that really makes you feel good about yourself. So with that, I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope you enjoyed the artwork that was playing. This is from an open call that was for this episode and has demonstrated all different types of perspectives from artists worldwide on courage and daily strength. So let's move on now to our meditation, and I'll see you later. So today's meditation is the courage to continue daily strength. I'd like to start by making sure that you get yourself comfortable. Take a moment to relax. If you're sitting up in a chair, get your feet flat on the ground. And when you're ready, close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in, and then you'll hold it for a moment and exhale slowly. Feel your body melt. And feel your breath steady. I want you to repeat after me. Each day I rise. Each day I continue. My courage carries me forward. I want you to let those words echo inside you. My courage carries me forward. Let them plant themselves deep in your heart. And I want you to imagine the sun just at the edge of the horizon. The night has been so long. The sky is still dark, but there it is. The first light of the morning just peeking over the horizon. It rises every day. Faithful, unstoppable. No matter the clouds, no matter the storms, the sun rises, and so do you. Breathe in that image. Feel its warmth and its persistence. Now imagine a river. Water flowing, steady and sure. It winds around rocks, flows over obstacles, but it never stops. Day and night, it continues to move forward. This is your courage. This is your strength. Not loud, not rushing, but steady and enduring. Repeat softly after me. I honor my persistence. I honor my strength. Each step forward is courage. Let's try one more image. I want you to imagine a small green shoot pushing through the soil. It stretches towards the light, so delicate but unstoppable. Each day it grows little by little. This is you. This is the quiet courage of continuing. Feel it in your body. Feel your growth. Feel it in your breath, in your heart. And repeat softly. Even when the path is unclear, I continue forward. Even when the way is difficult, I choose courage. Each breath, each step is my strength. Now I want you to rest here. Let these images weave together: the rising sun, the flowing river, the growing plant. Each one is a reflection of you. Each one is your courage to continue. Take a final deep breath in and exhale slowly. Carry this strength with you into this day and into the next.
Today's featured artist is Vanessa Camacaro, also known as Vans, a true innovator who bridges art, technology, and empowerment. Originally from Venezuela and raised in South Florida, Vanessa now calls Colorado her home. She's a digital AI artist, AI engineering student, photographer, storyteller, Web3 event planner, and curator, a multifaceted creator whose passion for technology and creativity knows no bounds. Vanessa's next step is a master's in software engineering, a journey that reflects her commitment to both artistic and technical mastery. Beyond her personal practice, she's also the founder of the Women in Tech Museum, where she provides mentorship, showcases, and resources to help uplift women entering the tech space. Her work has been featured at major global events, including Art Basel Miami, NFT NYC, and AI Fashion Week, with exhibitions spanning from Los Angeles to New York, across Europe and beyond. And most recently, her art reached an incredible milestone. It has officially landed on the moon through the Moon Mars Museum. Vanessa's story is one of innovation, courage, and community, a powerful reminder that creativity and technology together can take us farther than we ever imagined.
The courage to continue, the daily strength, is a deeply personal and universal theme. For me, it's not just a phrase, it's a daily mantra. It's about finding strength in the smallest moments, a hug from my children, the quiet hours when I create, the decision to keep going despite exhaustion or fear. My daily strength doesn't come from perfection or ease, but from persistence, from the love I carry for my family and the dreams I hold for the future. This courage is not loud, it's soft, quiet. It's the strength to show up, to live, even through uncertainty and pain. Art has been my lifeline, a place to rest when the world felt too heavy. When I create, whether it's physical, AI art, or poetry, I'm not just making something visual, I'm healing. Art gives forms to emotion I can't always explain. It allows me to express grief, joy, fear, and hope in a safe space. In my journey, battling illness and facing life daily challenges, art has become a form of therapy, grounding me and reminding me that I am still here, still feeling, still dreaming. It's been essential in maintaining my mental and emotional well-being. This theme touches every brushstroke, every word I write. My work is a reflection of survival. I often incorporate delicate elements, flowers, soft tones, not because life is always gentle, but because I am choosing to respond to it with softness and intention. The courage to continue pushes me to create from my truth, to show that beauty can coexist with pain. My art is layered with emotion, often hopeful, always honest. It reminds me and others there is still light to be found in stories worth telling. To my fellow artists, your voice matters, your story matters, even on the hardest days. When inspiration feels distance and doubts creeps in, keep going. You don't have to create something perfect, just something real. Let your art be your companion, your therapy, your voice when words fail. And remember, your courage to continue, to create, to express, to simply exist is already a form of art. Keep dreaming, keep expressing, and most importantly, give yourself grace. You are not alone on this journey. And with this, I'll leave you with a poem about my courage to continue. Each morning I rise with a quiet flame, a whisper of hope calling my name. Not for the world's loud praise or gain, but for the faces I love through joy and pain. I look at my suns, my morning light, and wish for another day, another night, to build, to grow, to simply be a mother, a dreamer, a soul set free. My strengths began in a simple gaze, in soft routines and chaotic days. Yet beneath it all, a fire runs deep, the will to rise, not just survive, but leap. I dream in color and bubble like air, hoping my dreams will linger there. Please don't break the bubble, I softly plead, for in that fragile space, I still believe in me. I paint with AI, with poetry's thread, with reveling all the things unsaid. Delicate flowers bloom from my pain, feminine, fierce, like soft rain. A gem I am, rare, gentle, strong, even when the night feels endlessly long. Even when illness knocks at my door, I dig down deep and I rise once more. Every line I draw, every word I write is a battle cry in the silent night. Voices within me echo and sing, you come so far, keep dreaming. For beyond the fear, beyond the ache, I see the future I long to make. To finish my studies, to raise my name, to help my people, to stoke the flame. This is my strength, my bow, my flight, to choose the path of love and light. And when the shadow whisper, you can't go on, I whisper back, but I already have, and I will go on.
Welcome back, everyone. So let's create some art. I'm on my world in Wide Worlds, and if we scroll down, you'll find all of the activities. We need to scroll sideways a little bit to get to the episode 4. So here we have the courage to continue daily strength, and I'm going to click on that. So I thought for this week we would try a kintsugi prompt, but I kept it really simple because there's a lot of heavy styling in this week's styles. So kintsugi, if you're not familiar with it, is an art form where you take something fractured and you repair it, and in the seams you apply color, typically gold, so that you're repairing it and making it whole again, but still highlighting the fractures. And it's really symbolic about taking something that's broken, putting it back together, and making something new and beautiful out of it. So we're going to use kintsugi in our prompts this week. I've already run a few, so there are a few examples in here already, but it's a really simple prompt. I've gone with a close-up portrait of a woman's face with threads of gold. She is fractured and repaired with luminous kintsugi seams. The breaks made beautiful, silence and strength in equal measure, in the style of modern fine art painting. So the first one we're going to try is a new style that I made for this week, which is the Vintage Brutalist Black and White. We can see two of those here at the top. They're very strong styles. They're best when you're doing close-ups, but they do work for long shots as well. They're not going to be super detailed in the artwork in the sense of a lot of stuff happening within the scene. It's a little bit more minimalist, a lot of stone or earthiness that comes into it, and it has a little bit of a vintage look to it. So I'm going to create my first one, and we'll try the soft gold as well. Some of these other ones, I think maybe we'll just take a look at how those turned out, because the special ones for this week were those top two, but we can go ahead and do a weird bananas and a red delight as well. So my first one came back, so you can see here it's got a lot of that stonework. It's got a bit of a vintage look to it. She doesn't per se have kintsugi, and this is all black and white in these ones, so you're not going to get those gold colors even though I prompted it. So here it's gone with sand for making those cracks and lines. I do think that some of the other ones were better examples. This one here is one of my favorites with the mask. I think this is really super symbolic, you know, feeling like you're cracked and broken, that you're masking yourself from your true feelings, that you're hidden behind the mask, but having to find the courage to sort of take it off and keep going and move forward. So this is a really cool image. The other one that came up that was interesting was this one here with the desert in her eyes, and her eyes are kind of void, and we do have the cracks in her face on this one, which I really loved. So here's our soft gold, which I put in for this week. This is a really gentle, subtle style. So it lays in heavily on the whites, the light grays, and the golds with like a little bit of soft pink to highlight throughout your scene. So this one here makes a lot of really cool artworks. Feel free to go into animals, landscapes. This is a really nice style. So as you're working on your prompt for this week, one of the things I'd like you to consider is asking yourself a couple of questions. For example, when do you feel the most courage in your life? When have you felt really strong and powerful and courageous? And think about that moment and how you could represent how that felt. On the flip side, I also want you to think about a time when you really felt uncertain or afraid, and sort of contrast the two. And if you want to go into the darker art, then focus on more the times when you did not have your voice, when you did not feel so courageous, when you did not feel like you had that strength that you needed. And put that into your artwork. I know when I went through my dark art period, I found that taking those negative emotions and putting that into my artwork was a huge release. It's sort of like I took that negative, vulnerable emotion, and when I expressed it through my art, it's like I locked it into my art. And while I could still go back and look at it and recognize and remember the feeling, I didn't carry the burden of it so heavily. So dark art can have like a huge benefit. So if that's an avenue that you want to go in, then consider those moments when you were really vulnerable and afraid and did not feel strong and did not feel that you had the courage to continue, and see if you can represent that. Think about the symbolism that you want to use. I find that natural symbolism is really powerful. But most important, what I'd like you to take away from today is to honor your small wins. When you accomplish something, take a moment and really acknowledge it to yourself. Tell yourself that you did a good job. Have that little internal dialogue where you're telling yourself something positive. You know, reward yourself. Go have a cookie. It might sound silly, but it'll bring a smile to your face and it makes you feel good about yourself. And when we tell ourselves positive things and when we reward ourselves for positive things, we rewire our brains. We rewire the way we think about ourselves and the things that we do and the way we engage. When we think better about ourselves because we acknowledge these tiny little wins,
They build that strength and that courage. I sometimes get to the end of a day and I had 20 things on my list to do. And I'll start to go and tell myself, oh, I didn't get this done, I didn't get that done. And then I have to stop and say, but I got the other 17 done. And that's a lot. So I'm going to take these 3, I'm going to move them onto my list for either for later or for tomorrow. But I got 17 other things done. And that was a good day. Not every day is going to be a perfect day. So if you got one thing done, then be proud of that one thing. And tomorrow, try to do it better. Try to get more done. And whatever you do accomplish, reward yourself. Take yourself out of the negative mindset and focus more on that positive mindset and acknowledge yourself for what you accomplished. And you're going to feel better about yourself and you're going to feel stronger and more motivated as you go forward. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode and that you can take something positive away with you. Go and create some beautiful art. I really hope you'll come and join me in the Hey Peers. Absolutely love it when the artists are coming in, sharing their artwork, telling about it, sharing their stories. It's so impactful, and I really would love to hear your story and see your art and have that art share with you because it helps us all connect. So have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell so you're kept up to date with new releases. If you'd like to support art therapy and keep this content free, I'd greatly appreciate it. You can do that by joining me on Patreon, which will be linked in the comments below. Patreon members get access to additional resources, guides, ebooks, prompts, and even the opportunity to work with me one-on-one. Don't forget, we'll also have a free live session on Hey Peers every Friday. I'll put the link for that below as well. And you can join us there to talk about AI prompting or your traditional art, share your art, talk about how this journey is for you, and share your experience of healing through art. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.